All right, everyone, welcome back. So, preview number 3 of 4 in the Eastern Conference. And today we got the New York Islanders versus the Carolina Hurricanes. This could be an interesting series. I've said that for I think every series, but this is going to be a fun playoffs. I got to be honest. I'm going to really enjoy watching and hopefully live streaming this series. So these are two teams here that historically against each other have played very entertaining series. The most recent being in 2019 when the Islanders won, I believe or actually sorry, the Hurricanes won in a sweep. So that's definitely something we got to keep in mind. And yeah, just overall, like these two teams are very fun to watch. Now, the Hurricanes, they were first in the Metro with a 52-21-9 record for 113 points. They have scored 266 goals and have let in 213. They are 28-10-3 at home, and they are 24-11-6 on the road. So, of course, they're a really solid team as a whole. However, ever since they clinched, they haven't been playing very well. I do want to take that in consideration. They haven't been playing at the level that we've seen the Hurricanes play at in previous seasons, and definitely something we got to keep in mind, as we head into this year's playoff series. Now, you go to the opposing end with the New York Islanders, and the Islanders in the playoffs for the first time since 2021. They have thrived as the lower seed. The Islanders 42-31-9 with 93 points. 243 goals for and 222 goals against. They are 25-13-3 at home and 17-18-6 on the road. First off, that road record, they've been iffy on the road, so Carolina having a pretty solid home record could help them out here in the first 2 games of this series. I got to be honest, though, the Islanders thriving as the lower seed, and the Islanders overall as a team that, if you've been watching for a long time and you go back to that 2021 playoff series, you go back to that 2020 where I was way more biased. Seventh grade Nordic was something else. But you go back to then, I have said multiple times that the Islanders can be bad towards the end of the season. They could suck. They could be the lowest seed. They aren't this year, but they could be the lowest seed in the playoffs, and they could still go on a run to the conference finals. And I honestly do believe that they very well could do it again. I don't know though, and this is a series that has a lot of questions for me when I look at it because you got a lot of injuries on Carolina's end. You got a team with New York that is old, has a new coach since those runs in 2021 that I'm kind of wondering, what could really be the outcome of this series? So we'll take a look at some of these players here. We'll start off with comparing Marty Necas to Brock Nelson. Necas this season in 82 games played, 28 goals, 43 assists for 71 points. There were those worries last season. I've talked about this many times before, but there were those worries last season of Necas maybe not even coming back to Carolina. And then this year, he's had an amazing career year, and he stepped up when he had to especially with a lot of Carolina players, not being, in the conversation, of course. Svechnikov being hurt, Pacioretty being hurt, and that is a worry. And that is an open worry that Canes fans and I should have heading into this series because Carolina, they don't have this one specific guy who's flying above everybody else, like I guess the Islanders do in Brock Nelson, which we'll get into in a second here. They kind of play as an open team. They play as a team. And not having guys like Svechnikov and Pacioretty, though, is really going to hurt them. You also have Brock Nelson for the Islanders, 82 games played, 36 goals, 39 assists for 75 points. He's a really solid forward. He stepped up when he had to for the Islanders. Almost a 40-goal season out of him, too. When you look at the Islanders, they don't score too often. It's kind of impressive, to be honest with you. Then you got Sebastian Aho, comparatively speaking, to Matthew Barzal. Aho this season, 75 games played, 36 goals, 31 assists for 67 points. Aho, of course, another a solid player. I mean, there's no question to it. He's always been a solid player. So I expect him to carry that into the playoffs. Then you got Barzal, who historically has been good in the playoffs and actually will be returning to the lineup. There were those iffy doubts that, oh, is he going to come back and play? He is going to. Barzal, 58 games played, 14 goals, 37 assists for 51 points. He's a really solid player. And of course, I'm going to expect a really good playoff series out of him if the Islanders want to beat the Hurricanes 100%. Now that I kind of realized it, I kind of compared the third score to the third score in this instance. You got Brent Burns, comparatively speaking, to Anders Lee. Brent Burns, obviously a defenseman, but has played very well since coming to Carolina. And it goes to show how smart of a GM Don Waddell is. And just like the moves that they make, all of them seem to go right for them. That's the weird thing with this team. All of their moves seem to go in the right direction for them, which still surprises me to this day. Burns this season, 82 games played, 18 goals, 43 assists for 61 points. He's a really solid defenseman. I expect him to carry it into the playoffs. And definitely, having a guy like Jacob Slavin, I got to give a shout out to him. It's really helped him be able to, express his offensive game much better. And as well as that, too, he's no longer having to deal with Erik Karlsson. And, well, not having to deal with Erik Karlsson, but not having to be on the same pairing as Erik Karlsson. And it's kind of given him more of an opportunity to flourish with Carolina, as well as Karlsson with San Jose. But, of course, we'll talk about that in a later video. Anders Lee, 82 games played, 28 goals, 22 assists, 50 points. Often forgotten as a captain, honestly. But Lee, still not that bad of a player. And if the Islanders want to be good in these playoffs, Lee's going to have to take a big step up this season, or these playoffs. I got to be entirely honest. Now, the goaltending is where I get the most interesting questions with this team, with both teams, to be generally honest. Mainly with Carolina, though. You got Freddie Anderson, 34 games played, 21, 11, and 1 with a 2.48 goals against average and a .903 save percentage. Now, I got to take into consideration the fact that, Anderson in previous years in the playoffs has not been very good. And that's not discrediting Anderson at all. But it is factual. And I mean, you look at previous years, many years with Toronto where he kind of fumbled and didn't let him get into the second round. And that definitely plays a big role. However, if Anderson isn't playing well, Carolina, unlike I'd say the Islanders, they have options. They had Freddie Anderson. They have Antti Raanta, who has played solid this season. They have Peter Kochetkov, who I've said multiple times that either he's going to get traded or either Raanta or Anderson should get traded to let Kochetkov get a spot because this goalie triangle, not going to work. Eventually, it's not going to work. But they do have those options in net, which I think kind of puts them at a little bit more of an advantage over the Islanders. Then you got Sorokin on the other end with 62 games played, 31, 22, and 7 with a 2.34 goals against average and a .924 save percentage. Sorokin, really solid goalie. Definitely should be a Vezina finalist this year. I honestly do believe that. But, yeah. It's going to be an interesting series. You look at the matchups this season and the head-to-head matchups, they played 4, and Carolina has won 3 of the 4. The first one, though, did go to the Islanders on October 29th. Then the one on December 11th went to the Hurricanes. It was 3-0 in that game. Then on January 22nd, the Carolina Hurricanes won 5-2. And then earlier this month, April 3rd, the Hurricanes won the 4th and final game of the regular season series 2-1. So my prediction, and I think this will be a very close series. I really do believe that because the Hurricanes are such a dominant team and they're so good. However, they have been cold in this month of March. They were and the Islanders as well as that too. They thrive as the lower seed. I cannot emphasize that enough. They thrive at being that lower seed. So that's why I'm going to go with the Hurricanes at 7. I still believe the Hurricanes will win this series. Just, I don't know, though. Without Pacioretty and Svechnikov, I could very well see them losing. But, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. For all your supporters, I really do appreciate it. We got one more preview to come out today, and that is the New Jersey Devils versus the New York Rangers. That'll be a fun series as well. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.